Hello, my fellow readers. This is actually going to be a very special video today where I decided to try a new thing, and that's if you like, then try. Here's why. Essentially, I take a book, and if you like that book, I recommend another book, and this is why I recommend the book. This is going to be done with kind of a twist because I'm going to compare manga to an actual novel and then give you why, if you like this, you'd like this. And you can use it either way. Like if you like that manga, you can try the novel, or if you like the novel, you can try the manga. I picked some interesting things. I hope this goes over well, and I have other books in mind that I'd like to do in the future, like make this a series. So yeah, I'm excited. I hope this works. I'm very excited to share my choices with you. So here is number one. So I'm going to start with a fantasy read, and my pick for the manga is Yona of the Dawn. And this is a great fantasy shoujo series, but I think any reader can enjoy this. Essentially, it follows Yona, whose father is murdered and her kingdom is being taken over. She flees for her life with her bodyguard, and then they start gathering, I don't remember if they have a name, but the dragons. She starts gathering the warriors to her side, and anyway, it's epic. It's very long. It's a great fantasy. It's so good. And I would say if you enjoy Yona of the Dawn, then a great author, really, to read. I'm going to show one of her books, but you could probably pick up other series as well, is Juliet Marillier. I always pause with her name about how to pronounce it. But her works are so good. This one is Daughter of the Forest, which is the start of the Seven Waters series. But I will say that when I was reading Yona of the Dawn, the one that really came to my mind is the Blackthorn and Grimm series, because you have a woman where bad things have happened. I will say, like, Blackthorn and Grimm is a lot more mature, and the main character is older, but you have a woman whose horrible stuff has happened and thrown her into these circumstances, and then you have a protector guy who really likes her, but their feelings aren't necessarily, like, thrown out there, and it's a whole level of whether or not they can have feelings for one another. And you get more of those vibes in the Blackthorn and Grimm series, which starts with Dreamer's Pool. But I would say, like, any of her series usually has pretty good female leads, and it's just that whole fantasy element storytelling that if you like that in Yona of the Dawn, you could probably find it in Juliet's works. So that's number one. And number two is Orange, which is a great shoujo series that also deals with time travel and, you know, mental health issues. Just a lot of stuff is in Orange. I love this series. I know not everybody does. Some don't like the time aspect. I never mind that because I always love questioning the different time, I always want to say philosophies, but theories. And so I like that. And I would say if you like Orange, then I would give Everything All at Once. I would give Everything All at Once a try. This is by Katrina Leno. And here's why. One, if you like shoujo, you'd probably like this YA contemporary. But this does have kind of a time fantastical element to it. It's also dealing with elements of loss. In this case, the main character's aunt has recently passed away that she was very close to, which sort of leads her on the journey of discovering the element that blends in with the time thing. Her aunt was actually like a famous writer, and there might have been more of her inspiration that was real than what she would at first think. But yeah, again, if you like that kind of relationship fiction element blended with a science fiction fantasy element, then I would go with Everything All at Once. Or if you have read this, or you like other books that blend relationship fiction with fantastical elements, then you probably enjoy Orange. And next we're going to go with another fantasy. So one of my favorites, Witch Hat Atelier. I would say if you like Witch Hat Atelier, you should probably try The Chronicles of Crestomancy. This is book 1, A Charmed Life. But the reasons why I would say try Diana Wynne Jones, and in particular this series, is because you have, 1, the whole fantasy element, 2, the apprenticeship element, and 3, I think you get great characterization. So both of these series, you'll have strong characters, you'll have great backstories, and also just the magic systems. And yes, I would highly recommend reading both of these. If you do read Diana Wynne Jones, then you should read Witch Hat Atelier. You'll probably very much like it. But also, if you have just gotten into Witch Hat Atelier and you want works that resemble it, that maybe aren't manga, read Diana Wynne Jones. I would actually say any of her works if you really like good fantasy with a touch of humor and heart. Read Diana Wynne Jones for sure. Next on my list would be Given. And if you like Given, then I am going to recommend to you History Is All You Left Me. The reasons for this are that emotional backstory that makes you a little depressed, but also the qualities of moving forward, of trying to find your path after a tragedy occurs to you. Of course, in Given, we have the band that does it, but History Is All You Left Me. You get more character interaction, but I think in both, it is that the strong characters that drive both of these stories. I think in both you have a lot of raw emotion and just heartfelt honesty. In Given, you'll have a lot of it, it's obviously depicted with the drawings. History Is All You Left Me, you have to rely on his words. But Adam Silvera is great at delivering emotional punches. And I was just thinking, what does the whole backstory here remind me of? And History Is All You Left Me is what came to mind. And so I would recommend, 1, if you like this work and the emotional story, try Given. But if you like Given, you might want to check out some of Adam Silvera's work. There are some other great ones beyond History Is All You Left Me, but that's the one that came to mind when I thought about the emotional story here. So next I'm going to go with an epic series that deals with the end of the world, and that I have probably recommended a bunch of times, and I'm going to keep recommending it because it's that good, even though we never got a conclusive ending, and that is X, or X 1999 by Clamp. And if you like this worldly scope that deals with the end of the world and the battle of good and evil, then, come on, I can't do anything but help recommend Stephen King's The Stand. This is literally the big epic battle for the end of the world, or maybe stop the end of the world, and blends so well with X. If you do like that whole battle between potentially a good side and a bad side, these are the two. If you like this manga, try this book. If you read this tome of a book, try this epic series that unfortunately does not have a conclusive end. Although one could say The Stand doesn't necessarily have a conclusive end as well. Not so much that it doesn't, but it kind of shows that battle, I guess, repeats itself. I'm still holding out hope that one day we'll get the end of this. If Cardcaptor Sakura can come back, maybe they can give us the end of X. I don't know. But I would say that these are very comparable series, books. And if you like that whole vibe, yeah. Look at how beautiful this book is, by the way. This is a beautiful copy of The Stand. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive for The Stand. I don't remember what they call these. But anyway, this is gorgeous. I wanted a copy of this book, but I've been putting off getting it until recently. This is just an aside. So I picked it up recently. And I was so glad I could get it because a lot of the current releases of it are show tie-ins. Like usually it would say movie tie-ins, but they're show tie-ins for the newsstand. But I love this one. I even like the bright colors. It's so nice. Anyway, yeah. If you like The Stand, get X. If you like X, try The Stand. And my last one, I think would be like the most controversial about why did you choose that, but hear me out, okay? So my next choice is Attack on Titan. This, by the way, is the epic colossal version, and it has 5 volumes in one. And I've decided this is the way I'm going to collect Attack on Titan. But I'm going to say that if you like Attack on Titan, the series, this is just going to blow your mind, what I'm going to recommend. But I'm actually going to recommend The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. And I know what you're thinking. Why? Here's the deal. Because I think that when Attack on Titan launched, so much about it is you thought kind of a monster series, right? Like here's this series where these giant things are killing all these people and it's just going to be a monster series. And instead, Attack on Titan really turns into a very human story. It is very much about humanity and the highs and lows of humanity. It's about the way that we treat one another. It's about trying to overcome biases. It's about all of that stuff that essentially makes humanity humanity. And that is literally what, in a nonfiction sense for our time, the Anthropocene Reviewed is, because the Anthropocene is the human era. It is our influence on the world around us. And so, yes, if you like reflecting on humanity and our good and bad choices, then I think that you would like the Anthropocene Reviewed. And also, if you like the themes in the Anthropocene Reviewed, you probably really like Attack on Titan. Yes, in Attack on Titan, there are Titans that you have to discover where the Titans came from and, you know, can you put an end to the Titans? But you also discover that that's really not what's actually happening in this whole series. And I don't want to give away the whole series. I have finished reading the whole series, but I think that the series in and of itself is actually about humanity, and it's our choices and what we've done to each other and to the world as a whole. I think that's actually what Attack on Titan is about, and I love it, and I'd highly recommend this series. But I think that it is not a monster series or a horror series, even though horrific things happen there. It really is a human series. It's a series about humanity and the things that we do to each other and the things that we do to the world. And so, yeah, if you like Attack on Titan, give the Anthropocene Reviewed a try. If you liked the Anthropocene Reviewed, try Attack on Titan. I think that you'd be surprised at actually how well they blend with one another. And that's actually going to do it. I wrapped it up with the most unique of my choices. The rest, you're like, yeah, you know, end of the world, battle, easy to do. Fantasy series, easy to do. Shoujo, aka relationship fiction, easy to match. But I think when you get a series like this, if you actually get down to the nitty-gritty of what it's about, it seems a little shocking, but I had to choose it. And I had to recommend both because they're both so well worth a read. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this where I give you, if you like this, then try that. I could also do it with book to book or manga to manga. That is not hard at all. Let me know your thoughts on it. That's it for this video. Until next time. Bye.